everybody, it's Mina. Since I forgot that this month is actually Women's History Month and March is almost over, I thought why not honor Women's History Month by doing my top 10 most independent female characters in movies. Now, one thing I love about certain kids movies now today is they're making one thing I hated about the older kids movies when I was younger is that they always had damsels in distress, which is really boring. I mean, I thought it was interesting as a child, but then as I got older, I realized how obnoxious it is. But honestly, one thing I really love is that they're having about a butt-kicking females who can really kick. Ignore that. That was my phone. Females that can kick a lot of butt on their adventures, and it's pretty cool. And I'm going to talk about some of the most independent female characters that I've seen in movies. So I'm going to get started. So number 1 on my list would have to be Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I think Belle's pretty independent because she's so smart, she knows how to defend herself, and she goes and saves a prince from being cursed instead of a prince saving her from being cursed, which is pretty cool. And I love that she's very brave and helpful, and she doesn't rely on anybody to save her. She just tries to save herself, which is cool. Even though she only has to be saved once, but I still think she's a pretty independent princess. And if you wish to see my 2 reviews on Beauty and the Beast, I'll have it linked in the description box down below. Number 2 on my list had to be Gidget from The Secret Life of Pets. I think Gidget is very independent. One thing I love about her is when Max goes missing. I'm sorry if I get away for those who haven't seen it. It was when Max goes missing, she tries everything she can to go and find him and rescue him. And I love that they're doing changing gender roles now, because back then in the olden days they used to have men save the women, but now today they have the women save the men, which is so cool. And I like how Gidget does everything she can to go and rescue Max, which is really awesome. She's such an independent dog. And I love that she's so tough for such a tiny dog. And if you wish to see my review on The Secret Life of Pets, I'll have a link to it in the description box down below. Number 3 on my list had to be Elizabeth Swann from Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, Elizabeth only has to be rescued once, and that is the first Pirates of the Caribbean film. But I like how, and also the first film, sorry if I get away for those who haven't seen it, is that even though she does get kidnapped, she still acts pretty independent and tough. She hits people in the head and fights them with does a lot of sword fights and shoots a couple of guns, which is pretty cool. And I like how she defends the people she cares about, which is awesome. And she also does everything she can to go and save her true love, Will. It's pretty cool, and I like how she can hold herself in a fight. Number 4 on my list would have to be Elsa from Frozen. I think Elsa's pretty independent because she does everything she can to protect her sister, and she doesn't rely on someone else to go and a guy to save her sister for her. And I like how she, even though she lets out her powers through kind of emotions, she tries everything she can to protect the ones she cares about. Not including her sister. And I like how she has ice powers, and she holds herself in a fight instead of relying on someone to fight for her. And if you guys wish to see my review on Frozen, I'll have the link to it in the description box down below. Number 5 on my list had to be Milan from Milan, obviously. I think Milan is pretty independent because she can hold herself in a fight, and she does everything she can to help save her country. She dresses up as a guy in order to go into the army. And she saves Captain Li Shang from being attacked by an avalanche. She does everything she can to save him and her country, and she can hold herself in a fight, and she can sword fight. That is so cool. Number 6 on my list would have to be Jasmine. Now, even though Jasmine is only captured twice, I still think she's pretty independent as well. I like how she can do combat pretty much, and she can outsmart a lot of villains by tricking them, including Jafar. I like that she can pretty much defend herself and stand up for herself and stand up for others. I really like how smart she is. she's able to trick others, like bad guys. That is so cool. And if you wish to see my review on Aladdin, I'll have a link to it in the description box down below. Number 7 on our list have to be Miss Bianca from The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under. Now, I think Miss Bianca is pretty independent. Now, though a lot of people may disagree, like, some people will say, oh, she's a damsel in distress, she has to be saved all the time. Well, actually, I don't really think she has to be rescued that much. She only has to be rescued, like, 3 times in 2 films. Like, well, actually, twice in the first film and once in the third film. And I think that she's pretty strong. She has a big sense of duty when it comes to her position in the Rescue Aid Society. I love that she cares so much about others, and I really love that she saves Bernard like twice. Bernard saves her like twice, like 3 times, and she saves Bernard probably like she does save Bernard quite a lot too. Like, she rescues him, like, for example, she rescues him from being eaten by crocodiles, and she rescues him from almost drowning in a cave. And, like, she, like, rescues him quite a lot as well. And, like, helps him out. It's awesome. And I like how so even though she's a very small mouse, she is very strong for a female character from, like, that time period. And if you wish, not that time period of movies, if you wish to see my 2 reviews of The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under, I'll have them both linked in the description box down below. Number 8 on my list, I have to be Merida. I think Merida is a pretty independent female character because she holds herself in a fight, she hunts for herself, and she does everything she can to break a curse that she placed on her mom by mistake, and she can shoot a bow and arrow. That is so cool. Cool as well. Like, she's really independent. Like, she can hold herself in a fight. She can try everything she can to fix her mistakes and break a curse she accidentally placed on her mom. It is really cool. Number 9 on my list would have to be Pocahontas from Pocahontas, obviously. Now, I think Pocahontas is pretty independent because she does not have to be saved at all in this movie. She goes and saves John Smith from being killed by her father, and she protects him, and she makes peace with the English and her Native American tribe, which is the Powhatan, which is cool. I think she's such a strong, independent character in this movie and also in history as well. Number 10 on my list had to be Tiana from The Princess and the Frog. Now, one thing I love about Tiana is that she's pretty independent as well. Like, she is probably the first princess with an actual real job. Like, she works as a waitress, and she works for her money, and a lot of kids probably don't know, like, from the older Disney movies, what the real world is like, is how you get your money, is you work for your money, and you work, like, really hard for what you earn, because the harder you work, because a lot of, like, hard work gets you somewhere, like, for instance, a lot of people, like, have jobs, and the harder they work, the more money they get. And a lot of people work hard for their money, like, out in the real world, because, like, back in the older Disney movies, those princesses don't really technically have jobs, so there's no really way for them to get their money, actually. Tiana is actually the first princess that has a job, and she, like, works really hard for her money. Like, she lives in, like, kind of a modern day New Orleans, sort of, but I forgot what era she lives in. Like, jazz era of New Orleans, and she works as a waitress for her money, and I think that's pretty cool how she has a job and works for her money, unlike some of the other Disney princesses who don't really have jobs at the time, because I guess jobs didn't really exist for them in their era. Yeah, but I think it's pretty cool how she's a modern princess that has a job. Okay, so those are my top 10 most independent female characters in movies. I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you. And one thing I like about Tiana, she buys her own restaurant herself without somebody buying it for her. Anyway, those are my top 10 most independent female characters in movies. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye-bye!